Hi everyone, welcome to Stars and Pearls. I'm so happy that you found your way here. I hope you click like, subscribe, and share, and that you drop a comment in the comment section below and let me know how this video flows for you. So let's get into this. Clairaudience. I'm doing a series on our 5 clairs. I will be doing a summarization at the end of it of all 5. So I'm starting off with clairaudience because that's how I began. I was predominantly and still am clairaudient and clairsentient, and then clairvoyant and all the rest of it come in. And so what are the clairs? First off, the clairs are the senses that you have on the higher levels of being and in a higher vibrational frequency, in a higher vibrational way. So we all have these the senses with which we receive information in this plane of being, in this 3D world, but we also have senses in all the other dimensions from which we receive information as well. So we have predominantly the 5 senses that we focus on in this world, which would be sight, smelling, taste, hearing, and touch. And so the clairs are the exact same, but again, higher dimensional frequency. So we can receive information from these higher vibing faculties that we have. However, most of the time it comes in through your mind, so you think that this is coming from you, right? It's your thought because it's coming in through your mind. So most people believe all the thoughts that they think, and they believe it all comes from them. But that's not really the case, is it? So this is why it's so important as well to train your abilities, train your skills in order to be able to discern and differentiate, to keep you in a balanced place as well. So this is also really important that you enter into these activities from a balanced place with the intention to stay balanced, because things can go sideways if you really dive into it, take it all on as your own. It can even lead you off of your life pathway, off your life track, and have you doing and experiencing things that weren't meant for you. And so clairaudience is the higher ability to hear, and it comes through our throat chakra. And already I'm sidetracking so much. I can't help it, you guys. The chakras, I know that there are different ways of seeing chakras, and people that have had them removed, that don't believe in chakras anymore. I have my own view on chakras, and I'll get into it in some other video, but not right now. But for sake of communication to a broader audience, I'll utilize this word chakra, okay? So, but this part of you whose frequencies work in through your throat, through your speech, this is what also enables you, allows you to be able to hear the higher realms, to hear your guides, to hear God in some cases, to hear your loved ones that have passed over. And this hearing, usually for some people, and depending on the strength of the spirit, it can be extremely loud and can really sound like another voice behind you. For most people, that's why I'm gesticulating here on my right. For most people, it's going to be on the right side. For some people, it's left. For some people, it's both sides with different meanings to each side that you can ascribe and train your body to, or your self to adhere to. But yeah, so anyhow, usually it comes in through your right ear for most people, I'd say. So it's but you can also hear it in your mind. You can hear it in your mind as if it's your own thought. And this is where discernment is really key, because otherwise you'll be one of those saying the voices made me do it, right? Or I thought it was the right thing to do because, this popped up in me. And discernment comes through training and constant working with it, and training yourself and your entire system to differentiate between your real inner voice and the voices that you hear. Okay. So, clairaudience is amazing because it can allow you to hear clearly guidance, input, insight, inspiration. A lot of musicians naturally have it without realizing. I've spoken to several that have told me they just um, they heard the music literally, and then they just played it on the piano or on the guitar. I'd ask them, where did you hear that? Like, where did you get the inspiration from? And they're like, oh, I just heard it. Like, I just heard it. So that's exactly how it works for me. I just hear the voice of dead loved ones or my spirit guide. And my spirit guide comes in really clear, usually on the outside of my hearing, in a sense. But that's because he knows how to work the energies. So when I hear just, especially when I was in stressed out situations, when I was a little stressed, for example, the very first live demonstrations of mediumship that I did, I would hear his voice just say this and don't say a word more. And I'd be like, okay. But I also felt safe because I knew I wasn't alone. I wasn't doing this alone. So you can literally hear anything through clairaudience. You can hear dogs barking. You can hear voices, of course. You can hear sounds, thunder rolls, doors locking, anything that you can hear in your day-to-day life, you can hear on a clairaudient level as well. And so to train this, you could be anywhere at any time. And it's actually personally, like, I think it's great to start off with training somewhere that's quiet and where you're undisturbed for people that have a hard time settling their energy and getting into a reflective mode rather than a reactive or receiving and thinking mode. But once you've gotten to a certain space, then it's actually, you got to change that around. You got to go into those environments where you're challenged and you're triggered to look over here, to lose touch, to inspired to disconnect, and then train that in those environments, such as loud noises, sudden noises. And because we're meant to work with this anywhere at any time, we're meant to become masters, not be enslaved to superstitions and fears and all of that, right? So in any case, how you can train your clairaudience is to really open up and try to hear everything. Usually we go through our day and we're filtering information out on a constant basis. We're always shutting out this, shutting out that in order to focus at the task on the task at hand, but also to conserve our energies, right? So this will also train you to handle your energy, to deal with energy. So you want to, and you don't want to do this all day, every day. Please do not. Okay. It's like going to the gym, and the best way to build your muscles, for a while it was taught like that. I still think it is. I don't know, is the short bursts. You don't have to do like a long drawn out gym sessions of 8 hours every day, but short bursts of pushing yourself past your usual limit, and your muscles will start to build. And it's the same thing here. You only need short bursts. You don't need all day dedication. So don't overdo it. Okay. I really have to say that because every now and then there's someone. So you can go out anywhere. I used to do it in the, what do you call it again? These air trams. I forget, they have a SkyTrain in Vancouver. And I'd be sitting in the SkyTrain, and every time the doors would open, my hearing would open too. And I'd really like try to, and I heard everything. I heard heels clicking, doors closing, elevator whooshes, jangling keys, coins, people speaking and talking, of course, people humming, the swish of jackets and pants, the stomp of a boot, the cry of a bird, cars, sirens, you name it. Like literally, I tried to hear everything that was about 100 meters around me, and then I'd expand that to 200, 300, 400, 500. And I tried to hear things that were a kilometer away. If I really heard them or not, who knows? But I was able to sensitize my hearing. And that's what's going to happen for you too, is you'll be able to sensitize your hearing to the point that you really hear into things, not in a negative way, but you'll be able to hear what's behind the voice, or hear what people are actually trying to say, or what they're actually trying to articulate. You'll be able to hear something coming. You'll be able to pick up on that. You'll also be able to hear spirit, of course, much, 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 much better. Much, much, much better. And so that's why it's also imperative to train it so that you can train discerning what is yours and what is theirs. Now, before you open up and dive into that, it's important that you go through 3 steps, major steps. And one is to ground yourself. This is super important, is you ground yourself in your body. It can be that you just become aware of your feet being on the ground. You can go through the whole grounding thing of planting roots and feeling into the core of the earth and pulling back up. But it's really important that you have a good sense of your body, of your physicality, of your life here and now, and that you ground into that. The second thing is that you have a good sense of some kind of a connection to a higher realm. That you have some kind of a faith or a belief in the benevolence of the universe. Because if you go into this in a darker frequency, you're going to start to hear darker things, and that is not good. So just saying, right? You can, of course, control that, but eventually it starts affecting you. So you really want to be able to believe in the benevolence of the universe, believe in a benevolent God, look around and realize that the goodness that created you created puppies and snowflakes and beautiful things as well. The universe is not just destructive, dark, evil, and irrational and not understandable, right? So life is not just that. It's also organized. It's also helpful. It's also so many beautiful things. So you want to put yourself on that side of perspective and be able to tune into the higher frequencies and to receive those. The third thing is you want to protect your energy. Oh, before I dive into protecting your energy, you also want to be able to connect with some kind of a spirit guide or God or whoever you connect with that is able to handle things that you cannot handle, right? Super important. You have to believe that you're being protected, that you're being loved, that you're not treading where angels fear to tread, as my grandmother liked to say, right? So you want to make sure that whatever you feel like you're not walking into this by yourself. So then the final thing is, of course, protecting your energy. And this is important. Why? And I'm utilizing the words because, again, it's easier, but there's so many things that go in with the understanding of protecting your energy. The main thing for me is that creepy crawlies, hangers-ons, things of that don't get stuck with you because you're on a vibrational frequency where they can make a nest and a home. And then you have to find a way to shake them off again, which usually has to do with elevating your frequency, which usually has to do with work. So if you don't want to do the work, then you want to do the pre-work of just protecting yourself and your space and understanding who you are, where you are in the world, having a good sense of self, not ego, of self, and being okay with that, being okay with that. And then being able to discern what's coming into your field, what belongs in your field and what doesn't. So you can do this easily with visualization, such as the classic white light pulse, the classic cloaking yourself in dark blue, the classic mirrors on the outside, the classic little bit of salt in your bra. The class, but also what some people also do is they only work under a different name. Okay, so that the spirits don't really attach to your identity and whatever is attached to your true identity. People tend to think spirits know everything. That's why they're so really gung-ho on receiving spirit messages, but spirits have the same access to the same information as you do, so you're a spirit too. So yeah, if they don't have your name and the people that you're walking with, working with, sitting in circle with don't utilize your real authentic name, then they also don't have anything to attach to, and also not to your destiny or your family or anything like that. So but that's going into the darker, more warfare side of things, but or cleansing side of things. But Yeah, it's these things I would advise for beginners to definitely get into the habit to do in order to just walk through these realms feeling a little bit more safe. Okay. So it's yeah, try to, after you've done all that, then you just open up. And I'd say the maximum that you should try is for the first beginning, maybe 5 minutes, not even more than that. And you should, 2 or 3 times a week. You don't need more than that. And then you can go longer and longer and longer. And then you can start practicing anywhere you are, in the sense of, oh, I'm having a conversation with my friend. She's going through something. Let me really hear what she's saying or what's going on. And of course, listening to the words that are being spoken, but also the voice and the inflection and the energy. And what started to happen for me is that every now and, well, it's becoming more often now again that I'm in a different space again, relaxing more. But you start to associate differently. Your mind starts making different connections. So some people will start seeing colors like I do with sounds, right? So certain sounds, when you're really tuning in and listening, then you'll see colors that just beautifully twang out, and they kind of follow the frequency wave from me. Other people get tastes in, or what have you, or smells, right? But your other senses will come alive too. The more you train that sense, your physical senses, of course, will come alive more as well. Oh, another exercise that you can do is you can also try to hear specific sounds. So you're looking at a picture and you're really, let's say you're looking at a picture of a duck. Really try to hear that duck quacking. You're looking at a picture of a horse. Try to hear that horse neighing. Somebody's telling you a story. Try to really hear the sounds that they're talking about. Oh, I was walking down Fisher Street. You know exactly where Fisher Street is. You know what it looks like. Try to hear the sounds of what this person may have heard walking down that street. Walk into a house, try to hear what the walls are trying to tell you, or what sounds maybe recorded in the walls, right? Are these sounds of love, or was there arguing in this room? But that's, going into another level, but try to hear the world, okay? And every chance you get, again, only for a certain amount of time, not all day, all along. Try to hear, try to really hear, open your ears and hear, try to hear the clouds moving across the sky, what that would sound like. Try to hear the wind in the trees. Try to hear the plants singing. Plants sing, you guys. They do, they do, they do, they do. When they're happy, they sing. Oh my gosh. And they communicate and they chat. They chat. So try to hear that, try to really tune into that. Okay. Alrighty, so that's that. And once you're finished with that, you can, of course, close it down again. You can visualize the energies coming back and being in a normal realm. However that works for you. Like I could run through a whole bunch of visualizations that you can do to do that. Flowers closing, the tubes coming back in, whatever, right? So however that works for you, you're visualizing this part of you going back to normal, and all parts of you that were extended outward, they're back here where they're supposed to be. And just go about your day, right? Just go about your day. So please don't obsess over this, okay, you guys, but have fun with it. And there's so many um, cute little stories, like walking down the street and hearing someone's name, or suddenly hearing your mother speaking in your ear. And I mean, we have that naturally. That can be a good thing or a bad thing, but for those of you where it's a good thing, it can be very comforting, and so there's a lot to say for clairaudience. Yeah, and it's so much fun. You're gonna have fun with it. Now I'm wishing you a lot of luck, a lot of fun, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Just drop a comment in the comment section below, and let me know how it goes for you, and I'll see you on the next ones. Take care. Bye.